All right, we got a poll question today. Oh, it's a fun one. There we go. When do you pull for Bruce Pearl? It's Bruce Pearl. Oh, we got a 0 in the middle. That's interesting because I've heard people on social media that have went straight to the middle. When do you pull for Bruce Pearl? Your options are every game but Tennessee, every game period. There's some of those out there. And then absolutely 100% never. So that's actually taking the lead here for people voting at the website, sportsource.tv. You can go and click polls.
Wow.
Or right there, just go ahead, use your smartphone, click on that QR code right below the Hearthside Bank logo, and tell us what you think. When are you pulling for Bruce Pearl? Every game but Tennessee? Every game, period? Or 100% absolutely never? All right. Let's touch on a couple things from the last 2 minutes, and I'll start with Mark, then everybody else can jump in here on some of these. Vandy started milking the clock. Rick Barnes started to press them, speed them up a little bit. It worked. UT scored the last 9 points in regulation. Could they have started pressing a little sooner? You can always make that kind of question second guess, but I'll ask you, would you? I mean, it certainly worked when you went to it.
Well, it did. We started playing with more aggression. They were back on their heels, almost playing to not lose the basketball game. I just look at, and Will mentioned guys like Igor, other guys playing with more assertiveness and getting to the rim, not settling for jump shots. So I think the press helps with that, where you're not playing back on your heels. And I don't know if you do it earlier, it kind of worked out. But again, I look more at how we handle that interior paint overall. In Vanderbilt, I give Vanderbilt credit. They played well.
Anyone want to chime in on that? Press, you cool with when he did it?
No, I was fine with it. I don't think that's who they are. I do think I like that it keeps you on the, as the Brits say in soccer, the front foot, right, when you press. But I think Tennessee usually can do that even when they're just running their normal defense.
Yeah, I give him credit. It worked.
Yeah.
And he went to it, and it worked.
And there were missed free throw from getting into overtime. So.
Yeah. And the next one, there were some people that were upset about they get the ball 15 seconds. They're down 2. They get it to Ziegler. Ziegler gets it to Lanier. Lanier simply drives the lane or beside the lane, goes up. Kid from Vanderbilt makes a great play. I mean, to block it and not get a foul, that was a great play. Sometimes the other guy makes a play. Your thoughts on, would you have drawn up something different? Were you good with the shot they got, with the shot they took?
I was good with it. I didn't have any problem with that. And Lanier was going, look, I didn't know that guy was that good defensively that could block a shot like that.
Ivy Leaguer.
From Cornell. But
Look,
that was a hell of a play.
Yeah.
If you're an NBA draft pick, you get to the rim like that, you're going up against a non-NBA draft pick, you finish that basketball. You got to be able to elevate high enough, use your body or something to get to the rim. I think it was a great play call to not settle for a jump shot when guards are shooting the way that they're shooting, the way Chaz has shot the last few games. I loved it.
It looked like Lanier got up a little too early. It looked like he took off a little too late, and that was one of the reasons they were able to block it. I mean, who am I to question the way he goes up? But it just seemed like he was already on his way back down by the time he had to lift it up. I just thought it looked like he left it open a little bit. He should be able to out-jump that guy to where he can't block it.
Yes.
So I thought he took off maybe a little early, which allowed that guy to get in there.
But from what we heard coming in, guys, we heard that he was one of the leaders in the country, Lanier, in dunks and three-pointers, just like Dalton Connect was last year. He hasn't really been able to finish at the rim. I can think of several times that come to mind. Either he got stopped. I mean, I love the play call, but it didn't work.
Am I wrong to say that Lanier seems to be shooting off balance, falling away, not putting his body into someone as he drives when he gets into the lane as of late, especially during SEC play the last few weeks? Like, is it a matter of just the physicality right now is a lot for him and he's having to adjust to that? Because that's one thing I thought that he could have done differently. I love the play call. But could he have thrown his shoulder into the guy and put a body into the guy to try to create space?
Perhaps, and Barnes consistently talks about he's having to learn a new level of ball, so that would fit with that. Mark, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think he didn't get his body into him, and he didn't fish with it. I mean, these guys practice against tall, athletic. I mean, look, you're going against Cade and Akbar, typically protecting the rim in practice every day. You would think that would be there. Sometimes you think you're so open and you kind of slow down a little bit, but I just thought it was a lack of the use of his body.
Yeah. Finally, Vanderbilt missed a free throw. Tennessee got the rebound. They got bailed out a little bit because Lanier would have just had to take a three-quarter or a half-court shot at best there. Instead, you get the foul call on Vanderbilt, which we usually don't talk about refs here, but I'm bringing it up only because you usually don't get that call on the road in basketball. Right. That was a questionable call.
Christmas present right
there.
I
thought so too.
I'll take that one.
Even Dane on the broadcast was having to say, I guess he got him with his hip.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you can't count on that on the road.
No.
And if you make that free throw, you got to figure we're going to go win this game in overtime if
Yeah.
you would have made that free throw. But yeah, I was surprised we got that call.
Let's talk about the missed free throw. Look, it happens. He hit the first one, missed the second one. You hate it for a guy who had just kind of gotten himself back out of a slump. He'd been slumping in terms of scoring. He gets back on the board, gets a little bit more of a rhythm yesterday. And then it's almost like you don't get the layup at the end, and we're sitting here talking about you. You miss the free throw at the end, we're still sitting here talking about you. That's got to feel rough for a guy who, again, Barnes is saying, having to get used to another level. Not the way he'd want to finish, obviously, with the block and then missing the free throw. I kind of feel bad that Lanier is the one that had that happen to him because he's struggling so much right now.
And he's typically a good free throw shooter.
Yeah, 77%, I think.
Yes, in that range. So I don't know if the moment got him. Actually, it kind of went in and out. It wasn't a bad shot.
Right.
It wasn't like an air ball.
But
it
one
was a
quick question. Same play with Gainey had been a better option to finish at the rim, considering he's won a game dribbling the length of the court.
No.
No.
I mean,
But see, who
I'm
else?
going Chaz
Okay,
all day.
but then who else are you going to run that for? You're pretty much going to run it for Chaz Lanier, right?
Yeah.
If you run that play. So, I mean, that's why I think you go back to saying it was a good play.
Yeah.
Back to the free throw, I think it's one of those things. I do think that he's struggling. He struggled from the floor. He had a bad night, and you learn from it. You grow, and that's what you hope that a young person can
And
do.
here's it. Like,
he didn't have a bad night against Vanderbilt.
He did not. He did not.
I feel bad when the field goal mixed the game-winning field goal.
Yep.
More so in high school and somewhat college these days. But let's be honest, these days it's becoming paid for play. And not even it's the pay for play. We'll get to that. But the other side of it is, there's a cost for leadership. Like there's a cost for being the best player on the team. If you want to be the best player on the team, if you want to be drafted in the NBA, you got to make game-winning plays. Like that's your role on the team to be put in those high-pressure moments. And the good players, the great players, the teams that succeed, they make those plays. And then the other side of it is, look, call it what it is these days. You're getting paid, like Barnes said, to make shots.
Yeah.
And so we can't feel bad. I mean, we can feel bad as a humanistic side of it, but
But not that
inside
bad.
of it, but in part of it, there's still a business level to it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And feel bad he missed it, but at the end of the day, that's what the expectation is of great players.
Yeah, that's legit. If you guys want money, you're going to take the money, deal with the heat. So, but I'm a bleeding heart. I feel sorry for him. All right. Tell you somebody that's not getting people feeling sorry for him. Bruce Pearl. Every game period is now up to 6%. So you got some people out there who are saying, I pull for him even against Tennessee. But what's taking off and winning is the people saying, absolutely 100%, never do I pull for Bruce Pearl. Play along. Tell us what you think. Are you part of the, I'm always for him, I'm never for him? I'm for him when he's not playing UT. Let us know. When we come back, the Vols will host Mississippi State, and then they'll go travel to see Bruce Pearl. And that 6% will be pulling for Auburn to beat Tennessee. Maybe that's Auburn fans watching our show. Let's discuss those two games next. Come on back.